Hello. I thought I'd go over all the updates mentioned in Build the Backlog for April, because I thought I lost quite a few brain cells reading this, but just wanted to give my thoughts on everything. Alright, first thing is all the small updates. Choose all that apply. Allow players to change what left-click hotkey does for items on their action bar. This is something people have wanted for a long time. I believe JMUN has already prototyped this, so this is definitely something that should be added to the game. Bounty Hunter closure and reward distribution. Bounty Hunter is basically a boosting festival at this point. The only problem I can see with them redistributing those rewards would be the removal of the ability to purchase random brawling gloves, which would be useful to someone like me if you've done Ithel for like 500 hours and you want your cooking brawlers, but don't really see a problem with that except dev time. Dungeoneering contracts, goals for Dungeoneers. A recurring theme within this backlog, list of stuff for the backlog, is Dungeoneering, and I just don't think anything should really be added to Dungeoneering, because at the moment it is pretty unbalanced and just don't need more content on top of content that's already broken. It's not that active to begin with. There's not really much reason to do Dungeoneering. So yeah, pretty much not going to vote anything Dungeoneering related, basically. Elite Hunter creatures. I saw someone suggest that you could catch huge creatures that take like minutes to catch rather than seconds, and give equivalent XP, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't think the game needs it though. Elite summoning familiars, rare pouches with extra bonuses. Well, this is really depends on how rare the secondary ingredients are, or the charms, if they use different charms or whatever, and if they're tradable or untradable, then obviously they'd have to be worthwhile to use. There's a question of, like, would they be better than Steel Titan? I don't know, but I think that's something that's pretty interesting. Encouraging exploration, hidden items across the game world. This, I don't see why they would add like many of these at once. Like, I could see this being something like a Arc Journal or Menphos Journal where you have to collect everything, and I don't think we need another one of those. I think stuff like this should be added with every update, like a little bit at a time. Faster Menphos reputation ×2 across the board. No, reputation's already a joke, and there's nothing to unlock if you gain the reputation quicker. I mean, it's kind of pointless. Guild Games Agility Sprint card came back, bringing it back. This was actually pretty fun. I did this in 2012. I believe it was like 30k agility XP every day, which is a lot back then. Obviously, it won't be that relevant today, but it'd be kind of fun to see it come back. Loot caskets dropped from skilling. Well, we already have clue scrolls, so that is kind of redundant. New invention tools, Hunter. I assume that means including Clockwork, Falcon. I mean, Hunter is pretty sure Hunter is like one of the fastest skills in the game. I don't think we need like. I mean, new invention tools for other skills would be useful, I suppose. I mean, updates like Hunter get so many updates in the first place. It's just it's not necessary. Pyramid Plunder hard mode. I assume this would just be stronger mobs, less time to loot, higher fill rate, etc. It just seems pretty boring to me. I mean, thieving is already AFK enough. I mean, people probably won't even do this method. So yeah, that's all for the smaller updates. And for the medium updates, alternative divination training method. Well, I mean, Divination has already had a lot of alternate methods, like cash is a thing, different kinds of wisps, like wisps on the Ark, cursed energies in the wilderness. So that's it's a big no. Engineering, trekking. Okay, I said I wouldn't be voting for anything Dungeoneering related, but this is actually probably the most interesting thing they suggested for Dungeoneering in a long time. If this is like completely, if this is completely independent from actually Dungeoneering, it's actually like the original Tumble Trekking, I think it could be a lot of fun, and that's actually something I would look forward to. Assuming there's, relevant rewards from it. It's relevant rewards as in like not just XP and more tokens, because thanks. Garden of Tranquility 2, making Varrock attractive. Well, we don't need a quest for that. I mean, Varrock already needs a graphical update. It's kind of surprising, like places like Varrock and Lumbridge have not had major graphical updates, and places like Edgeville and Draenor Village have. So I love Falconry, including Falcon, Familiar, and graphical rework. Again, Hunter gets enough updates, don't need that. Invention Golems, gathering daily items. I was thinking about this one. It would be interesting if this worked with the stock limits of the items. Say for battle staves, like, would it actually remove your stock, or could you use an Invention Golem to purchase more at the same price and also buy from the shop? I mean, I assume it uses shop rates, but you never know. It was interesting though. Carlos Origin Quest, I mean, any quest listed under medium, probably have not given much thought to. I mean, it sounds pretty boring. New aquarium fish, yes, aquarium should have been updated alongside the fish releases, but it was pretty obvious it was going to get ignored when it was first announced. Player-owned armory, show off your collection. Same with the treasury. I think that was in the year ahead poll. I don't know, but like nothing POH related should be updated without a full rework first. That doesn't make any sense. Skill Cape quests, level 99 Rex. I saw some people talking on Twitter about this 99 requirement for quests. And I just make any logical sense to me why you would want to just make a quest for the sake of making a quest require level 99 in a skill and like benefiting skill capes. It's completely ridiculous. Trim skill combat pets. This is probably the most discussed option on this whole backlog because of the fact that I believe it'd basically be like getting a skill pet more than once. So you get it once, and the second time you got it, you would like prestige it to be able to trim it or give it a different skin or basically to upgrade it. I mean, it's not that important to gameplay, but it'd be pretty cool to have. Like, I would go for skill pets, second time around. And these are the larger updates. Raxor Quest and a Virago Origin Quest. See, like, these quests, like, I feel like these should have been released around the time the bosses were released. Like, it is kind of ridiculous to, like, not do this, to put the lore into the game at the same time the boss goes out. And like what they did with the QBD, where they released the, don't remember what it's called, but the QBD quest. Then, like, the next week they released the QBD, along with the graphical rework of the whole area, etc. That's what they should do with updates, but here we are like 4 years later, don't have either of these quests. But, I mean, would be interested in seeing them, so I'll vote for them. Or rework. bring down prices and gain currency from logging in. See, the problem with this one is it is an aura rework and not a loyalty point rework, which basically means they won't bother adjusting the prices for anything other than auras or taking them into account at all. First of all, auras are not even the cause of people's complaints. The cause of people's complaints is the fact that you cannot hit bosses because they have too high defense. So wasting development time just reducing the prices when auras are fundamentally flawed, and the whole loyalty point system should be reworked if they're going to spend any time doing anything with that. Challenge improvements, parity across challenges introduced daily escape. I assume this means daily challenge improvements. I don't know what else it would mean, but if it does mean daily challenge improvements, this is probably the most ridiculous thing out of everything here, because daily challenges are meant to be daily, one day, do it while you're skilling and get it done without really going out of your way to do it. So that's like the least worries of anything daily escape related, and they're suggesting to remove the fact that you do a challenge every day, even though they're called daily challenges, which does not make any sense at all. Clan boss. Could be a boss in the Citadel. There's just no information. Sounds boring. Guild overhaul. See, with this one, I don't think they would do it just because obviously I think I need all guilds need graphical reworks. They need complete overhauls in like the content in them and the structure of the guilds, and I just think they would just like add some pretty useless rewards to purchase or something, and I don't know, because they give no information here on what they would do, I'm not going to vote for it. Crimes of Temple Pyramid Plunder. Well, it's really the same. We really don't need more skilling methods for any skill, really. I mean, and it doesn't sound that interesting, so I'm not going to vote for that. Player-owned towns, be mayor, and unlock characters. Don't really know what to say about that one. I mean, just thinking of player-owned ports, but I guess this would be completely separate. Be pretty cool, I suppose, similar to ports. Vote for that. The skill guide rework, yes, that is pretty important. To rework the skill guides to make them actually useful and provide information that they do not currently. That's all for the larger updates. Which of these graphical updates would be eager for us to work on? Bank chests. Well, I mean, I don't think anyone really cares about that one. The only thing I'm thinking of is the chests that were used in the updated GE that were just knockoffs from the Ark Island chests. I believe it was tier 2, and I doubt those would be changed. So I mean, that's kind of pointless. Bears. Bears could do with a graphical update. I mean, I'd rather see them not updated, so I'm not going to vote for that. Cats and dogs. It's pretty much the problem with all these graphical update suggestions. I don't think there's a high likelihood that they would not look better after the graphical update, which is kind of a major problem, but I'll vote for cats and dogs because they do need updated. Corporal Beast, this is iconic. It does need an update, but I don't think it should get one. It doesn't really, I mean, it looks fine the way it is, honestly. Dark Beasts, that's just a Slayer mob. Suppose they could be updated. Dungeoneering, okay. It is honestly baffling how they've even suggested the thought of graphically updating Dungeoneering. Because not only is Dungeoneering like it just doesn't make any sense, because I don't even understand how you update it, because it's just a bunch of wall kits. Like they have videos on YouTube where they discuss how they design the art for Dungeoneering, and it's really interesting. I've actually watched them a few times over the past few years. I just don't see what use would be updating those wall kits, because I mean they look perfectly fine. I doubt they do anything other than update like the wall kits. Not to mention they've used the Dungeoneering assets in so many other places aside from Dungeoneering itself. It'd be ridiculous to assume that they would update all those as well. So overall, a pretty ridiculous suggestion, but Giants do need an update, I suppose. Imps, I swear these are updated a couple years ago. Lodestones, these were released in 2012, and I do not see any reason they need to be updated. Majorant, I swear these have been updated like 20 times. Don't need another update for those. Second Age Armor, this should have been fixed before it was released. I'm not really sure what the consensus is on if it looks bad still, or, I mean, I haven't really seen it in game, I don't think, but I'm going to assume it needs an update. Sears Village, that should already be out, so I mean, I don't know, I'll vote for it, I guess. Sewers, oh yeah, Rock Sewers, yeah, that could definitely use an update. Probably the most needed update on this list of graphical changes. Varrock, yes, Varrock and Lumbridge need updates. Yaks, I'd say they're pretty iconic. I'd rather not see them get an update. And well, that's pretty much it for everything on the build backlog April. A lot of it pretty terrible suggestions, and the thing that really confuses me is why they would do a poll like this where half the stuff I've never even heard of. So they're basically just creating a bunch of more unfinished business that's not even worthwhile to create in the first place. Yeah, I don't understand the point of this poll was really. I mean, they should already have a plan for all their content this year at least. And a bunch of this stuff was just really bad. But yeah, thanks for watching and listening. See ya.